creative factory in Colorado.
The word bullfighting. What pops into your head? Is it this breathtaking art form, a dance with death steeped in history and courage? Or is it a barbaric ritual, a public atrocity that has absolutely no place in the 21st century? Today, we're going to try and unpack one of the world's most polarizing cultural practices. You really can't talk about bullfighting without bringing up Ernest Hemingway. For him, and for a lot of people, this wasn't a sport. No, it was a tragic, beautiful art. It was a profound ritual where the matador, the artist, is literally putting their life on the line. And that, in his view, elevated the whole thing to something much, much more than just a fight. This perspective really shaped the romantic image of bullfighting for decades. But for every romantic description like Hemingway's, there's a modern reaction that's just so visceral, so raw, like this one. What one person sees as high art, another person experiences as just undeniable cruelty. And this right here, this is the core tension we're going to unpack today, that profound clash between culture and conscience. So how did we even get here? Bullfighting wasn't just invented last week. Its roots go incredibly deep, evolving over thousands of years from something like an ancient rite to a highly structured national symbol. The story really starts way, way back around 2000 BC with these amazing frescoes of acrobats literally leaping over bulls in Crete. Then the Romans brought their arena spectacles over to Spain. By the Middle Ages, you had Spanish nobles fighting bulls from horseback. But the real game changer comes in 1726. That's when a matador named Francisco Romero steps into the ring on foot with a sword and a red cape. And bam, that's the moment the modern bullfight, the corrida, is born. A modern bullfight is basically a 3-act drama, and it's super ritualized. Act 1, the tercio de varas. You've got picadors on horseback using lances to weaken the bull's powerful neck muscles. Then comes Act 2, the tercio de banderillas, where these barbed sticks are placed in the bull's shoulders to really agitate it. And finally, you get the tercio de muerte, the third of death, where the matador stands alone to face the bull for that final fatal performance. In the early 20th century, something happens. Bullfighting goes from just being a popular spectacle to being seen as this revered art form. And honestly, it was almost entirely because of this intense rivalry between two legendary matadors who were complete and total opposites. So this period is called the Golden Age, and it's because of these two guys. On one side, you had Joselito. He was the child prodigy, the classical master from a bullfighting family who moved like a dancer. And on the other side, you had Juan Belmonte, the rebel. He changed everything by standing perfectly still just inches away from the bull's horns. Their insane rivalry between 1914 and 1920 is what really elevated bullfighting into an art. But, well, that golden age is long gone. Today, bullfighting is a tradition that's really facing extinction. The numbers, they don't lie. They show this dramatic shift in Spanish society. Interest is just fading fast, especially with the younger generations. Just look at this number. In 2018, only 8% of Spaniards went to any kind of bull-related event. And if you're talking about the formal corrida we've been discussing, that number drops to less than 6%. This isn't a national pastime anymore. It's become a minority interest, for sure. And the reason for this decline becomes crystal clear when you look at this. It's a huge generational divide. You see that while almost 30% of older Spaniards are supportive, that number just plummets to 7% among young people. It's simple. For the next generation in Spain, this tradition just doesn't connect. So what's the big case against it? Well, first, and the one you hear most often, is animal suffering. Critics call it slow torture for entertainment, plain and simple. They also say it's not even a fair fight, pointing to reports that bulls are sometimes weakened beforehand. Then there's the argument that it's just an anachronism, a barbaric relic. And a final, huge point of anger is public funding. Why, people ask, should taxpayer money be used to prop up an industry that so many people find cruel and that's losing popularity anyway? So all of this has brought Spain to a major cultural crossroads. This isn't just a debate about animals anymore. It's a fight over national identity, about tradition, and really about what kind of country Spain wants to be in the future. Let's just boil it down to its very essence. On one side, you have the argument for culture, that bullfighting is this irreplaceable tradition, an art form that embodies bravery, skill, and Spanish identity. And on the other side, you have the argument for cruelty, that tradition can never ever justify what they see as the deliberate torture of an animal for fun, and that it's a spectacle that just doesn't reflect modern Spanish values. And what's fascinating is that this cultural divide maps almost perfectly onto the political landscape. A recent survey showed that over 92% of voters for the left-wing Sumar party reject bullfighting. On the flip side, support is highest among voters for the far-right Fox party, and even there, a majority still oppose it. This isn't just a cultural debate anymore. It's a deeply political and partisan issue. And this isn't just an argument happening in cafes and living rooms. It's a full-on legal war. Regions like the Canary Islands and Catalonia actually passed bans. But, and this is a big but, in 2016, Spain's constitutional court struck down the Catalan ban. And why? Because a national law protects bullfighting as cultural heritage, which means regional governments can't just outlaw it. So that national law, that's now the central battleground for everyone trying to end this practice for good. So it all leaves us with this one big, fascinating question. As Spain keeps changing, as younger generations turn their backs on it, and as the political divisions get deeper and deeper, will this ancient, controversial, and undeniably dramatic dance with death finally take its final bow and fade into the history books?